Lisa only wanted a hotel room to shelter her sick son. She never expected the manager to call security or to discover she owned the entire chain. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from. In this video, drop a comment below and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. The rain poured hard, drumming against the cracked pavement as Lisa pulled her thin jacket tighter around her shivering son. The bus station was closed, and the last ride out of town had left hours ago. The hospital had discharged Danny early, too early, because their insurance wouldn't cover another night. His fever was still high, his breathing uneven, but the nurse had just shrugged. "Come back if it gets worse," she'd said, like they had the money for another trip. Lisa's sneakers splashed through puddles as she hurried toward the glowing sign of the Grand Elite Suites. The name alone made her stomach twist. She'd avoided places like this her whole life. Too fancy, too expensive, too quick to judge people like her. But Danny needed a warm bed tonight. She took a deep breath and pushed through the heavy glass doors. The lobby smelled like expensive perfume and polished wood. A young woman behind the counter glanced up, her smile freezing when she saw Lisa's worn-out clothes, Danny's pale face. "Can I help you?" she asked, voice cool. "I need a room for the night," Lisa said, keeping her voice steady. She pulled out a crumpled wad of cash, every dollar she'd saved from her last cleaning job. The receptionist's polished nails tapped the keyboard. "I'm sorry, but we're fully booked." Lisa blinked. The parking lot was half empty. "Are you sure? Even just a small room?" A man in a sharp suit appeared, his name tag reading Manager Harris. He didn't even look at Danny. "Ma'am, we have a policy. Guests must meet certain standards." His eyes flicked over her again. "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable elsewhere." Lisa's face burned. She knew what he meant. She'd heard it before. "People like you don't belong here." But Danny coughed weakly against her shoulder, his skin too hot. She opened her mouth to argue. Then her phone buzzed, a notification from a bank she hadn't checked in years. "Your assets have been successfully transferred." Lisa stared at the screen, her pulse suddenly loud in her ears. The account balance made no sense. The zeros kept going. And then, the name at the top. Not just her name, her father's name. The manager sighed, already turning away. "Security can help you leave." "Wait." Lisa's voice was quiet, but something in it made him pause. She held up her phone, the screen glowing bright in the dim lobby. "Does this hotel belong to Blackstone Holdings?" Harris frowned. "Yes, but—" Lisa tapped a number from memory. The call connected instantly. A voice on the other end. "Blackstone Legal." "How may we assist you, Ms. Grayson?" The manager's face went pale. Grayson, the name on the deed, the name everyone in the company knew. Lisa kept her eyes locked on his as she spoke into the phone. "I'd like to discuss some sudden changes in management." Danny coughed again, and Lisa pulled him closer. But this time, she wasn't just a struggling mother begging for help. This time, the entire hotel chain belonged to her. The manager's mouth opened, then closed like a fish out of water. His polished confidence cracked as the voice on Lisa's phone continued, loud enough for him to hear. "Of course, Ms. Grayson. Should we initiate an immediate audit of the property's staff?" Lisa didn't answer right away. She just watched Harris's hands tremble as he gripped the counter. Behind him, the receptionist's eyes darted between them, sensing the shift but not understanding it yet. Danny tugged her sleeve. "Mom, I'm cold," he whispered. That snapped her back. "First," Lisa said into the phone, her voice firm, "I need the penthouse suite prepared. Now, and send a doctor. My son needs help." Harris finally found his voice. "Ms. Grayson, I had no idea." "You were supposed to know," Lisa cut in, her tone sharp. "Your job was to treat every guest with respect, not just the ones who look like they belong." The receptionist gasped, finally piecing it together. She scrambled to grab a key card, hands shaking. "Right away, ma'am. I'll take you up myself." Lisa didn't move. She kept her eyes on Harris. "You're fired." His face turned red. "You can't just—" "I own this place," she said quietly. "I can do whatever I want." A security guard who had been hovering nearby suddenly stepped forward, not to escort Lisa out, but to block Harris from protesting further. The receptionist rushed around the counter, key card in hand. "Please follow me, Ms. Grayson. We'll get your son taken care of." As they walked toward the elevator, Lisa heard whispers spreading through the lobby. Guests peeking over their phones. Staff members exchanging stunned looks. But she didn't care about any of that. All that mattered was Danny. The elevator doors closed and the receptionist, Mia, her name tag said, finally dared to speak. "I'm so sorry about what happened downstairs." Lisa exhaled, the adrenaline starting to fade. "Not your fault." Mia hesitated. "For what it's worth, I recognized you." Lisa tensed. How? She'd spent years hiding, staying invisible. Mia lowered her voice. "Your father, he used to stay here. You look just like him." Lisa's breath caught. She hadn't seen her father in over a decade. Not since he disowned her for refusing to marry the man he chose. Not since she walked away from the family fortune to raise Danny alone. So why was she suddenly the owner of everything? And what else didn't she know? The elevator dinged. The doors opened to the penthouse, a sprawling suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. But before Lisa could step inside, Mia's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then paled. "Miss Grayson, there's a problem." Lisa's grip tightened on Danny. "What now?" Mia swallowed hard. "The board just sent an emergency alert. They're saying, you're not the only heir." Lisa froze. "What?" Then the phone in her own pocket rang. An unknown number. She answered. A man's voice, smooth and cold, sent a chill down her spine. "Hello, sister. Did you really think Dad left everything to you?" Lisa's blood ran cold. That voice, she hadn't heard it in years, but she'd never forget it. Ethan, her brother, the one who had stood beside their father when she was cast out. Danny coughed again, snapping her back to reality. She forced her voice steady. "I don't have time for games, Ethan. Whatever you want, it can wait." He chuckled, low and mocking. "Oh, I don't think it can. You see, I've been running Blackstone Holdings for the past 5 years, and I just discovered Dad changed his will before he died." A pause. "He left you in control." Lisa's mind raced. Their father was dead, and he'd given her the company? Why? After all this time? Ethan's tone turned sharp. "But here's the thing, Lisa. I'm not giving it up. And if you try to fight me, I'll make sure you regret it." The threat hung in the air. Lisa glanced at Danny, his fever-flushed cheeks, his tired eyes. She couldn't drag him into this. Not yet. She lowered her voice. "I'll call you back." Then she hung up. Mia was still standing there, eyes wide. I should go," she stammered, backing toward the elevator. Lisa caught her wrist. "Wait, you said you recognized me. Did you know my father well?" Mia hesitated, then nodded. "He stayed here every month, always in this suite. He left something for you." Lisa's pulse jumped. "What?" Mia hurried to a hidden panel in the wall, pressed it, and a small safe clicked open. Inside was a single envelope. Lisa's name was written on it in her father's handwriting. Her hands shook as she tore it open. Inside was a letter and a key. "Lisa, if you're reading this, it means you've finally come home, and it means I'm gone. I was wrong to push you away, but I couldn't admit it while I was alive. The board would never have accepted you if I showed weakness. So I waited. And I planned. The key is to my private vault. Inside, you'll find proof that Ethan has been stealing from the company for years. Use it carefully. He's dangerous. And Lisa, protect your son. Better than I protected you." The letter slipped from her fingers. Ethan wasn't just trying to keep the company. He was stealing from it. And now that Lisa stood in his way, Danny tugged her sleeve again. "Mom? Who was that?" Lisa forced a smile. "Just, an old problem." But she knew the truth. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. And Ethan was already one step ahead. Lisa tucked the key into her pocket and knelt beside Danny, brushing his damp hair from his forehead. His skin was still too warm. "First things first, let's get you into bed, okay? The doctor will be here soon." Mia cleared her throat. "I'll make sure they come straight up." She hesitated, then added, "And I can bring up some food? Soup, maybe?" Lisa nodded gratefully. Thank you. As Mia left, Lisa guided Danny to the massive bedroom. He sank into the plush blankets with a small sigh, his eyelids already drooping. Mom, are we rich now? Lisa's throat tightened. I don't know, baby, but we're safe tonight. A knock at the door made her jump. A doctor entered, an older man with a kind face and a black medical bag. Ms. Grayson, I'm Dr. Shaw. Let's take a look at your son. As the doctor examined Danny, Lisa paced near the windows, her fingers tracing the key in her pocket. Her father's words echoed in her mind. Ethan is dangerous. She always knew that. She just never thought she'd have to face him again. The doctor straightened up. It's a nasty respiratory infection, but antibiotics should clear it up. I'll leave the prescription at the front desk. Relief flooded through her. Thank you. Dr. Shaw hesitated. Ms. Grayson, I knew your father. He was a difficult man, but he spoke of you often toward the end. Lisa stiffened. What did he say? That he regretted letting pride keep him from his grandchild. The doctor gave her a knowing look. Be careful. Not everyone will be happy about your return. Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. A news alert. Blackstone heiress returns. Lisa Grayson spotted in Grand Elite Suites after years in hiding. Her stomach dropped. Already, a photo accompanied the headline, her and Danny entering the hotel, grainy but unmistakable. The article speculated wildly. Is she back to claim her fortune? What does this mean for current CEO Ethan Grayson? Lisa's hands shook. Ethan must have leaked this. A warning, a reminder that she couldn't hide. Danny let out a weak cough. Mom. She shoved the phone away and forced a smile. It's nothing, sweetheart. Just grown-up stuff. But it wasn't nothing. The game was moving faster than she'd expected. And if she wanted to protect Danny, she couldn't stay here. The vault key burned in her pocket. She needed to see what her father left her, before Ethan found it first. Lisa waited until Danny fell asleep, his breathing steadier after the doctor's medicine. She tucked the blankets around him, kissed his forehead, then quietly slipped into the suite's living area. Mia had left soup and sandwiches on the table, still warm. Lisa's stomach growled, but she ignored it. Instead, she pulled out her phone and searched for the location of her father's vault. Blackstone Private Bank, downtown. Of course, the most secure place in the city. She glanced back at Danny. She couldn't take him out in the rain again, not while he was sick. But she couldn't leave him alone either. Her phone buzzed. Another unknown number. You always were slow, Lisa. Tick-tock. Ethan. Her fingers clenched around the phone. He was watching her. A soft knock at the door made her jump. She peered through the peephole. Mia stood there, shifting nervously. Lisa opened the door just enough to speak. What is it? Mia bit her lip. Ms. Grayson, there are reporters downstairs, and... She lowered her voice. 2 men in suits just arrived. They asked for you by name. They didn't look friendly. Lisa's pulse spiked. Ethan's people. Already. She made a split-second decision. Mia, I need a favor. Anything. Stay with my son, just until I get back. Don't let anyone in. Mia hesitated, then nodded. I won't move from this door. Lisa grabbed her jacket and the vault key. If anything happens, anything at all, call this number. She scribbled Doctor. Shaw's digits on a napkin. Then she slipped out the service elevator, her hood pulled low. The Blackstone Bank loomed ahead, its marble pillars gleaming even in the storm. Lisa avoided the main entrance, heading instead for the private side door her father had once shown her as a teenager. Her key slid into the lock smoothly. The door opened. Inside, the vault room was silent and cold. Rows of safety deposit boxes lined the walls, but Lisa's eyes went straight to the one at the far end. Larger than the others, marked with the Grayson family crest. Her hands shook as she inserted the key. The door swung open. Inside was a single file folder. She opened it and froze. The first page was a photo of Danny, not recent, from years ago. Underneath, in her father's handwriting, if you're reading this, Ethan already knows about the boy, and he will use him against you. Lisa's blood turned to ice. She flipped the page. The next document was a birth certificate, Danny's name. But the father's name wasn't blank like it should have been. It was filled in with a name she recognized, a name that changed everything. And at the bottom of the pile, a deed for land. Not just any land. The land Blackstone Holdings had been fighting over for decades. The land Ethan would kill to control. Lisa's legs gave out. She slumped against the vault, the truth crashing over her. This wasn't just about money or power. This was about Danny and why her son was the one person who could destroy Ethan forever. Lisa's fingers trembled as she stared at the name on Danny's birth certificate. Jonathan Mercer, her college sweetheart, the man who'd vanished without a trace the day she told him she was pregnant, the man whose family had been locked in a bitter legal war with the Graysons for generations. Ethan had known. Her father had known. And now Danny, her sweet, innocent boy, was the heir to both feuding dynasties. Lisa's mind raced. The land deed in her hands was the final piece of the Mercer estate, the one parcel Ethan couldn't touch. Till now. A soft click echoed through the vault room. She whirled around. The door she'd entered through stood slightly ajar. Someone was here. Lisa shoved the documents into her jacket, her breath coming fast. The exit was blocked. There had to be another way out. Her father always built escape routes. Her eyes darted to the far wall, a ventilation grate, too small for an adult, but another click. Closer this time. She moved silently, prying the grate open with shaking fingers. Behind it, a narrow service tunnel. Lisa crawled inside just as heavy footsteps entered the vault room. "Check every box," a man's voice growled. "She's here for something." Ethan's men. The tunnel was pitch black, the air thick with dust. Lisa inched forward, one hand clutching the documents, the other feeling blindly ahead. Then, light. The tunnel opened into a maintenance closet. Lisa burst through the door, sprinting down a back hallway toward a glowing exit sign. She had to get back to Danny. Now the hotel was in chaos when she returned. News vans crowded the entrance, cameras flashing. Lisa ducked through a side entrance, taking the service elevator up. Her heart stopped when she saw the penthouse floor. The door was slightly open. "Mia," she called softly, stepping inside. No answer. The suite was empty. No Danny. No Mia. Just a single note on the coffee table. "You should have stayed gone, sister. But don't worry, I'll take good care of my nephew." Lisa's knees buckled. Ethan had Danny, and he knew exactly what the boy was worth. Across town in a penthouse office, Ethan Grayson studied a sleeping Danny through a security monitor. On his desk, a file labeled Mercer-Grayson Merger. He smiled. "Welcome to the family, nephew." Lisa's hands shook as she stared at the empty penthouse. The walls seemed to close in around her, the weight of Ethan's threat crushing her chest. She couldn't lose Danny. Not now. Not like this. Her phone buzzed. A blocked number. She answered, her voice barely a whisper. "Ethan." His laugh was smooth, arrogant. "Lisa, you always did make things difficult, but it's over now." "Where is he?" Her fingers tightened around the phone. "Safe. For now." A pause. "You have something I want, sister. The Mercer land deed. Bring it to me, and you can have your son back." Lisa's blood ran cold. He didn't just want the company. He wanted the last piece of the Mercer fortune, the one thing that could make him unstoppable. She forced herself to think. Ethan wouldn't hurt Danny, not yet. The boy was worth more alive, but she couldn't trust him to keep his word. "Where?" she demanded. "Blackstone Tower. Top floor. 1 hour." The line went dead. Lisa's mind raced. She needed leverage. If Ethan had Danny, she needed something bigger to trade. Then she remembered her father's letter. Proof that Ethan has been stealing from the company. She pulled out the documents again, flipping through them frantically. There, buried beneath Danny's birth certificate, bank records, offshore accounts. Millions funneled out of Blackstone Holdings. Ethan's dirty secret. Lisa's lips curled into a grim smile. She knew how this would end. Blackstone Tower loomed over the city, its glass walls reflecting the storm clouds above. Lisa walked through the lobby, her head high, ignoring the whispers of employees who recognized her. The elevator ride to the top floor felt like an eternity. When the doors opened, Ethan stood there, arms crossed, his smirk dripping with triumph. Behind him, two armed guards, and in a chair by the window, Danny, his hands tied, his face pale with fear. "Mom!" he cried. Lisa's heart shattered, but she didn't move. Not yet. Ethan gestured to the folder in her hand. "You brought it." She held it up. "Everything you stole, every lie you told. The board will love seeing this." His smirk faltered. "You think that matters now? You're not walking out of here with that? Or him?" Lisa didn't blink. "I know." Then she pulled out her phone, live streaming to every major news outlet, every Blackstone shareholder, every board member. Ethan's face twisted in rage. "You bitch!" "Say hello, Ethan," Lisa said coldly. "The whole world is watching." For the first time, her brother looked scared. The guards hesitated, glancing at each other. Danny struggled against his ropes. "Mom, help!" Lisa took a step forward. "Let him go." Ethan's jaw clenched. Then slowly he nodded to the guards. They cut Danny free. The boy sprinted to Lisa, crashing into her arms. Ethan's voice was a snarl. "This isn't over." Lisa held up the documents one last time for the camera. Oh, it is. Because on the screen behind her, headlines were already flashing. Blackstone CEO exposed. Board votes to remove Ethan Grayson. The guards stepped back, abandoning their boss. Ethan's empire was crumbling in real time. Lisa didn't wait to watch. She took Danny's hand and walked out. For good this time. 1 month later, Lisa sat on the porch of a small house by the lake, her house on her land. The Mercer land. Danny played in the grass, finally healthy, finally safe. Her phone buzzed, a message from the new Blackstone board. "We'd like to discuss your role in the company." Lisa smiled and turned the phone off. Some things were more important than power. Some things were everything.